Welcome back to the programme. A BBC Online article has prompted reaction from the Russian embassy over the unusual choice of illustration. Well, we can get more details now from our correspondent in London, Anastasia Churkina. Anastasia, can you explain what all the fuss is about?
Well, Nadira, the Russian embassy here in the UK had some questions for the BBC following an article that seemed to lump together online jihadist propaganda and what appeared to be the Russian flag. Specifically, in an article they published on their website, the BBC had used an image depicting the same colors as the Russian flag, which is white, blue, and red. And to this, the Russian embassy in the UK had tweeted saying, "Hey BBC, what does the Russian flag have to do with online jihadist propaganda in UK? Change your graphic designer or your photo bank." Now, the official Twitter account of the BBC did not react to this tweet. However, they did change the picture in the article, which now depicts ISIS militants and ISIS flags. But it has to be said that this is far from the first time when the Russian embassy Twitter account sort of chases the British press. Specifically, one example comes to mind when they had commented on a Times article that talked about, quote, Cyrillic language, which probably meant Cyrillic alphabet. In another example, we've seen a case where the Mirror had used images from a traditional Russian pancake festival in what they presented to be an exclusive investigation into Russian football hooligans. And so certainly this is not the first time, and it probably won't be the last. We have certainly reached out to the BBC for comment on this, and we'll let our viewers know if we hear back.
Oh, thanks for the update on that story, RT's Anastasia Churkina live from London. Internet companies and providers are criticising a US bill designed to tackle online sex trafficking. If approved, it would allow legal action against platforms and services that host illicit content. Tech firms warn it's a step towards undermining free speech online, but critics point out the corporations seem to have no such concerns when it comes to deleting fake news and hate speech. RT's Samira Khan explains more.
Silicon Valley and Congress are now clashing over the issue of online human trafficking. U.S. lawmakers have proposed a new bill that would make websites liable for prosecution if they fail to combat the problem. Internet giants such as Google, Facebook, and Twitter have opposed the bill, saying it would undermine free speech.
The bill also jeopardizes bedrock principles of a free and open internet, with serious economic and speech implications well beyond its intended scope.
The mother of a deceased victim of human trafficking sees this issue quite differently.
My name is Yvonne Ambrose. I am the mother of the late Desiree Robinson, and I'm asking you, the U.S. Senate, to change Section 230 and support the bipartisan legislation to stop enabling sex traffickers act, not only for my baby, but for the protection of yours and others to come.
Yvonne Ambrose says her 16-year-old daughter was killed after she was advertised for sex on Backpage, an online classified ad service. Ambrose wants to hold the website responsible, but Backpage denies this, saying they did not advertise her child. For years, however, the company has been accused of allowing its users to post classified ads of prostitutes, some even underage. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the majority of its child sex trafficking cases involve ads on Backpage. So why not just close the site? Well, under U.S. law, internet providers are not liable for user content.
No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider.
Now, tech giants don't want to change the law and don't want to take responsibility either. But when it comes to limiting speech, however, they are more than ready to take responsibility.
Our system relies on people in the community being able to reach out and tell us what they think is offensive, and then we staff teams of people, hundreds of people around the world, to be able to go look into those claims and follow the guidelines to take down the content that we feel is hate speech according to those policies.
Last year, Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, and YouTube announced a code of conduct, pledging to remove online hate speech within 24 hours. Google and Facebook launched a fact-checking algorithm that labels news as fake if it fails to pass an independent audit. And in August, YouTube began demonetizing videos that they deem extremist. It seems as if these IT giants have no problem restricting user content themselves, but quickly draw a line when the government tries to do so. Now, is this a pick-and-choose approach, or are tech giants correct in trying to prevent government censorship, even if they're guilty of censoring content themselves? Samira Khan, RT, Washington, D.C.
Tech giants claim the broad language of the bill would make it counterproductive and lead to the suppression of free speech. But political satirist Amy Horowitz believes their fears are purely motivated through concerns about profits.
There's a groupthink among all these high-tech companies, and there are certain political ideologies, mainstream ideologies, which are forbidden almost sometimes on their website. They're trying to make sure that their political perspective is the one that's dominant on their platforms, and that other ideologies, other ideas, other thoughts are really trying to be shunted to the side, and it's quite scary what that means to our democracy. This is all about liability. This is all about being protected from lawsuits. These big IT companies don't want some old creepy guy named Ronnie going about his dirty business and then being sued because of it, because he happens to post something on Facebook or YouTube or what have you. But this whole argument is all about money and avoid being sued. So that's really what's the heart of this issue here.